Every cruise has a hidden gem port, the one you know nothing about that becomes your favorite part of your vacation. And on the Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady, that was Rhodes, filled with history that unfolded into a rich culture. Plus, we found a great gluten-free cafe.
Guys, you need to ASMR the crunch on this pastry. Listen.
If you're going on the Greek Island Glow itinerary, let us show you a self-guided day in Rhodes, Greece.
Nobody told me how cool Rhodes was gonna be.
We're off the ship, and in case you're wondering how long the walk is off the port and into some of the sights, the walled city, it's about the length of the Norwegian Viva. Shut up. We just walked right into this. It's so cool. And listen, I could try to wait for the space to clear out and get a picture of it without the people in it, and it would make for a nice video, but it would not be realistic for you planning your trip. There are people everywhere. I'm gonna let you see them.
We are using the GPS My City walking tour here in Rhodes. One thing not included on that walking tour is the Kahal Synagogue, which is kind of on the way to the first stop of the walking tour. So we came through the first gate. We didn't go through the sea gate, we came through the first gate and we hung a left. It's amazing, the second you get off of the main thoroughfare, things just sort of quiet down, calm down. This is pretty cool. So we're gonna go stop at the synagogue first, then go pick up the walking tour. But I encourage you, even if you're doing a walking tour, if you feel like you're in a big, messy thoroughfare, take a left and just see what you can find, because it's pretty interesting and a lot more chill.
Seeing the Kahal Kadosh Shalom Synagogue here and the adjoining museum has been really beautiful, seeing the history, but also informative about the varied and sometimes tumultuous history for the Jewish people here on Rhodes. This is the oldest standing synagogue in Greece. It says this fountain has an inscription that says 1577. That's around the time this courtyard and the synagogue itself were built. So it goes way back. Going through the museum shows you so much of the history of when Rhodes was under Italian occupation, whenever it had some Turkish rule and Turkish citizens, and what the community went through when they were completely devastated during the Shoah. It's amazing to see what has come back to life since then, but there's also been a great loss of what used to be a significant Jewish community and is now still quite small. But the beauty and the history of the people continues to shine through. We continued back to the busy thoroughfare to start our walking tour of the medieval city.
I think it can be really easy to get sort of trapped into the main road here, where there's just a lot of touristy type shops, which is part of the reason why I find walking tours particularly useful, because it can really anchor you about the history of the place as opposed to just what happens to be available for sale at the moment.
I swear we're at Hogwarts.
There are two theories about what the name Rhodes is. One is it's actually the Greek word Rhodon, which I just said with a French accent, so pardon me, which means rose. So it could be the island of roses. It sounds very sweet. It sounds like the movie Wish. Another theory, maybe less charming, is that it could be the Phoenician word erod, which means snake, because the island used to be covered by an entire population of snakes. A constant theme that we've been hearing so far is just how many times this island has changed hands, from the Phoenicians to the Ottomans to the Italians to the Germans for a period of time during World War II. So what it has meant is that I already don't know what language to speak when I say hello or goodbye or thank you to people, and now I really have no idea.
Check the video description below for the link to this walking tour.
So when you first come off the ship, you really are going to see one gate right across the way. That's the gate we walked in first, and it's the one that's closest to the synagogue. And then we continued and actually came over here by the Marine Gate. This, as in much of this city, is from 1500s. And this gate specifically, it's interesting, you look at it and you're like, it's narrow, so it feels like it's not this like grand entrance. It's intentional, because that's actually where the invading armies would come through, and so it was intentional to try to squeeze them out. We're recentering ourselves for the walking tour on the Marine Gate, and we're going to head into Hypocrates Square next. Into the walled town of Rhodes, complete with two large round towers. This gate is where Hypocrates Square, kind of a bit of an overwhelming space. The main feature here being this fountain, but this is kind of a like tourist hub with a bunch of cafes and street musicians and just a lot going on. We're heading up Socrates Street, which kind of dead ends at Solomon's Mosque, which I don't think we're going to get a chance to get into. We need to get over to the Grand Palace though, so we're not going to stop here right now, but right next to the mosque is where the clock tower is. Okay, so this clock tower is actually from the 7th century, though there was significant damage in the 1900s, so it was largely rebuilt during that time. But you can get up to the very top and you can go into the circular chamber and view all the way around. So given how slow-lined this city is, it'd be a pretty awesome view up there. This clock happens to be slightly more correct than the one in the town square. Still not 100% right, so maybe use your phone to tell the time. So when you come up the street, past the mosque, past the clock tower is the Grand Palace, which pretty much everybody says is like the main thing to come and do here in Rhodes, other than walk the tourist Socrates Street. So this dates back to the order of the knights that were here. However, it was basically destroyed when the Ottomans were here. Like, it was used as a prison and a handful of other things. And then it was basically completely restored in the mid-19th century by the Italians. So this is really a restoration from what it sounds like. Also, a lot of the things that are housed within the Grand Palace seem as if they were taken from other islands and repurposed here. So there's a bit of like ethical quandary about some of these things. We did pre-purchase our tickets only about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They were only €20 each. They weren't a whole lot. Let's see.
It's a long line for the ticket office, but we're gonna bypass it.
When you first walk in, it is a fairly impressive space. I would watch for the little arrows because they very much guide you in the direction of where to go. It definitely feels like there is a sequence to these rooms. The other thing is, well, there's a fairly lengthy staircase to climb up. No handrail on the side, which is a little freaky. Certainly if you have kids coming with you. But I will say, once you get upstairs, you kind of assume, oh, 500-year-old building in the middle of the summer, it's gonna be warm. It's very lovely up here. It is well shaded and there's an amazing cross breeze. There are really two main exhibitions here at the Palace of the Grand Master. There is the downstairs Ancient Rhodes exhibition, and then there is the upstairs exhibition, which is primarily about from the 1500s and the Order of the Knights of Malta.
And Scotland, a beautiful town in the mountains, we proudly managed to repel several assaults.
Then one day we made this fortified unit to protect it from the Corsair pirates. challenge for Grandmaster John Hill.
And the Ancient Rhodes exhibition is closed today. So we saw the Knights of Malta exhibit, and it showed a lot about the history of the building and how it was restored. But that half, is closed.
Some of the fortifications of the city outside the palace can be explored for free.
So this is the Street of the Knights. So this is where the crusading knights actually had their hotel quarters. This is one of the most intact medieval streets in all of Europe. Supposedly, if you come here at night, it has a much more waxy glow to it. We won't be here late. We're coming here after leaving the Palace of the Grand Master. We walk back out, we're making a left, which also heads you back in the direction of where the port is.
This tour didn't include the Acropolis of Rhodes, but there are some ancient ruins like the Temple of Aphrodite just off the waterfront within the old city.
Suddenly it's very modern.
We headed out into the modern city because we were hungry. And since we are gluten and dairy free, we found a fantastic and safe cafe at Rhodes Gluten Free.
This has been really delicious. I love the hummus because it's very tahini forward. I think that's what I would say is my favorite feature of both of these dishes. But the hummus is really tahini forward, which is a sesame flavor, but also I love the Greek bagels have all these sesame seeds all over them. We also really love Montreal bagels, which if you know where I can get a gluten-free Montreal bagel, wait, we're gonna take you there. Come with us in on it. But I love that both Montreal bagels and traditional Greek bagels are covered in sesame seeds. I think it's a great flavor, a great texture, a little warmed up and super fresh. Is so yum. So as we're dairy free as well, we asked to get the sandwich with hummus, and it's hummus, lettuce, and tomato. Just a really nice, fresh Greek grab and go lunch. Not only is the hummus super creamy, oh, it's really creamy, but also the pita is this like chewy.
They have lots of amazing looking Greek pastries here, but a few of them are available vegan, and one of them is the galaktoboureko, which we have not had in years. So that is usually available on Wednesdays. They said Wednesday is their vegan day when they have all the vegan items prepared and ready to go. However, if you're looking for one of these and it's not a Wednesday, like today, they have them available in the freezer, and they just take a little bit longer because they have to get them out and heat them up just for you. Ooh, look at that custard inside. I cannot wait. I'm gonna just eat it with my fingers and see how it goes. Buttery and honey, but not butter because it's vegan. So we spoke to the lovely shop owner who has helped us figure out all the different details. And I wondered if maybe the galaktoboureko had soy inside of it, which I usually try to avoid as much as possible. And she said, as a general rule of thumb, they really try to avoid soy and oats here at the cafe because they know that a lot of folks have issues with both of those things. And so this is actually made with almond milk and some rice flour to thicken it, which is amazing. And the owner gave us some bars to take on the road with us. They said these are like power food because they've got lots of sesame and almonds. I mean, look, it's so much sesame. That's gonna have some good protein, and it also has honey and some flavors of orange and lemon and cinnamon and nutmeg. It's gonna be delicious. But we've seen some of these around Greece, so we thought they were common to all of Greece, but they said here in Rhodes specifically, they're not hard, and it's a soft bar They said they give them out at like baptisms and special events as a favor. And so it's a very traditional Rhodes item for them to give us. Very gracious.
We picked up some snacks for later and then passed a coffee shop on our way back to the walking tour.
And it got hot. It's ponytail time.
We are in Mandrake Harbor, just outside of, not the old city, but kind of the new city. Here we have the Fort of St. Nicholas, which St. Nicholas didn't actually have anything to do with. In both the 14 and 1500s, the Fort of St. Nicholas was very important for protecting the city from the Ottomans. And for a while there, it did a good job of that. Its very, very thick walls were able to withstand cannon fire. And over on this side, you'll see we have two statues of a stag and a doe, which are the symbols of Rhodes. Now, remember, Rhodes used to be the location of one of the 7 wonders of the world. The Colossus of Rhodes was this giant statue that was destroyed by an earthquake. You can't go back and see any part of that. It's not here anymore, but now we do have these two statues of the stag and doe. Now, over here on my left, we have windmills that the knights developed to help grind grain and things like that. There were over a dozen of them at one point, but now there are only 3 remaining that have undergone major renovation. And you'll see them just over here by our ship.
The beauty and history of this diverse place was beyond anything we expected.
You can see our ship through the ruins.
We can't wait to go back to Rhodes someday, and we hope you'll subscribe to come along on the rest of this Virgin Voyages sailing through Greece. Thanks, travelers!